Hey everyone, it's Amy here with my weekly chat with Amy. And I'll just give everyone a moment to jump on. And every week when I think about what to cover in my chat with Amy Facebook Live video, I always think about like, what am I hearing people talk about? What am I hearing entrepreneurs talking about? And so one of the things is definitely around productivity on a daily basis. So yeah, I'm just going to give people a chance to jump on, and that way we can make sure that I am serving you to the best of my ability. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is also thinking about what has been happening, like with Hurricane Irma. I just think I've just been thinking about it so much because I know two people that live in that area, like in the Turks and Caicos Islands, as well as Puerto Rico. And I just have this feeling of like perspective, where it's easy for me to just, focus on business and focus on serving my entrepreneurs and really making a difference. And at the same time, I always want to keep perspective on what's happening in the world. And when I notice that, there's all these updates every single day about Hurricane Irma and people getting killed and all of that, sometimes I feel kind of funny talking about business when there's so much happening over there. So anyway, I just want to send lots of love and positive energy that way, and just know that we're all thinking about you. And especially to my friends Sonia and Karina, who are over there right now. And I was really amazed. I actually shared something on my personal Facebook page late last night, because what I was really blown away by was my dear friend Sonia Buena de la Torre. She has had the most, so she lives on the Turks and Caicos Islands, and she's had the most positive spirit about knowing that a hurricane every single day is getting closer and closer to where she is. And so what was amazing to me was that she went to this gym that's on the island yesterday morning, I believe. And she and this other woman, like the gym was totally empty, and she and this woman were doing like a Zumba dance, And yeah, so hey Shauna, thanks for joining. And so I was just so inspired by the fact that even in the midst of, this, Mother Nature coming towards this island that Sonia lives on, here she was still going to the gym and doing Zumba, this like fun dance routine with this woman. And she was just smiling the entire time. And I was like, life really is about how we handle things. It's about how we choose to show up on a daily basis, no matter the circumstances. And seeing Sonia dancing, like literally, I think of like dancing through the storm, but really dancing and knowing that, where she is right now, is a scary area. And at the same time, she's like, I'm going to still be me, and I'm still going to, prepare as much as I can, but I'm also not going to let it stop me from dancing. And it was just so great. So I know a lot of you are connected to me on my personal Facebook page. So if you have the chance to take a look at that today, it's just so fun and happy to see them dancing. And they even danced to a song called Hurricane Irma, like just to really bring a light energy to what's happening right now with this huge hurricane. So I just wanted to start off with that, because I think that, everything is about perspective. Everything's about perspective. And sometimes the things that we stress out about really do not compare to what's happening in the world. And I think it's important to keep that perspective going. So today, what I wanted to share on a much, much, much lighter note is all about how to stay focused and productive on a daily basis. So if this is a topic that you think would be helpful for others, if you could go ahead and click on the share button. I always want to serve as many people as possible. Of course, most of the time I'm focusing on coaches and service-based entrepreneurs. In this case, when it comes to staying focused and productive, it's relevant to probably anybody and everybody. So first of all, I just would love to see who else is on right now. So Shauna, I love your post. Happy to see your mermaid still up on your wall. We find little moments of happiness where we can right now. Yes, this is my mermaid. I know I've told the story of this mermaid, which was not too long ago, a few months back. I was with a group of girlfriends in Edmonds, Washington, such a cute little area. And we're walking, and we literally stopped, like my friend Roxanne and I stopped when we saw this particular mermaid. in the window at a store, and we both were like, oh my gosh, I have to have that. So then we looked at each other and we're like, okay, how are we gonna make this happen? And as it turned out, they had 2 left, so we both got to have them. So now we have our matching mermaids. So yeah, so who else is online right now? Would love to see who is joining me today for this topic, and I'm happy to help. So, okay, so I'm gonna get right down to it. So when it comes down to oh, that's so funny, Roxanne just texted me. She must have felt me talking about her and the mermaid. So today's all about how to stay focused and productive, as I just got distracted. It's so funny. So one of the things that I've noticed is that oftentimes my clients and colleagues actually know what they should be doing, and they're just not doing it. Like they should be focusing on the things that are really going to get them closer to their vision, and they're focusing on other things because there's a form of resistance around the very thing that's going to get you to where you want to go, right? So one thing that has really helped me is a strategy that I go back to all the time. I don't use it every single day, as far as like, if I already am on fire and focused, I'm good to go, then I don't have to do this. But it's a really very simple way to just refocus, get committed, get fired up about my day, and really just go 1 hour at a time or 1/2 hour at a time. So what I do is, if I'm feeling like there's so much on my plate, like some people use the word overwhelm. My clients know that I do not use the word overwhelm. Ever since I heard Suzanne Evans said to me once, and this was an aha moment for me. So if any of you ever feel overwhelmed, like really lean in to this one. So I remember talking to Suzanne Evans. She's an incredible success mentor. And I was saying to her, like, how do you stay focused when you get overwhelmed? This was a couple years ago. And she said to me, and this was brilliant, like so brilliant. She said, there's no such thing as overwhelm. It is just, like, I remember the words, like, there's no such thing as overwhelm. It's just an illusion. I am never overwhelmed. I'm just not prepared or not committed. And it's easy to solve. Every single night I plan out the next day, and then I commit to it, like fully commit to it. But the main thing I would love for you to hear from this is that she said, there's no such thing as overwhelm. I'm just not prepared or not committed. So anytime I feel that word coming up for me, when I feel that, like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling overwhelmed, there's so much going on, I remember Suzanne's words, and I'm like, nope, I'm just not prepared and not committed. So I get to get prepared and recommit to whatever it is that I set out to do, and then I let go of that sense of overwhelm. It just diminishes. So here's what I do, is I take out one sheet of paper, like just one sheet of paper, and I look at my day, so whether I do this at night for the next day or first thing in the morning. So of course I have, all the fancy technology of like Google Calendar and my time trade, and so there's definitely things that are already in my calendar for the day, and sometimes there's something about the pen to paper, exercise. So what I do is I get out one piece of paper, and at the top of it, I write down the date, and then I write down something that's going to make me happy. Like, this is what my happy and productive day looks like. Or I'm going to be the most productive person on the planet today, or something cheesy like that. And I also love using happy different color markers or pens just to bring it to life. So it's just a joyous exercise. And then on the left-hand column, what I do is I write down, see, I'm doing this with my right hand because I'm probably seeing this backwards. Anyway, on the left-hand column, I'll write down the hours of the day, and I'll think about what it is that I need to and get to accomplish that day. Now, of course, if I have appointments on my calendar, I'll fill those in first because I'm committed to following through with my coaching clients or any calls, like group calls that I have, or my chat with Amy. So I'll fill those in first, and then I'll look at my open spaces in the day, and I'll think about what are the top 1, 2, or 3 things that absolutely have to get done today. Now, some of you probably are like me, where there's like a million things in your head all the time. And if that's the case, then I would do a brain dump first and just write down every single thing. Like, this is something you could do today. Write down every single thing that's in your head that you think you need to do right away. Everything's a priority. You have to do this and this and this and this and this. And then on that list, look at what are the actual things that absolutely need to get done today, and then highlight them. Like, what absolutely has to get done today. And even when I've made a list of like 20 or 30 things, I've noticed that usually only a few things absolutely need to get done today, and those are the top priorities. So then I look at the spaces in my day, and then I think about how much time each of these top priorities take, and then I write them in. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm looking at every single hour or half hour of the day, and I think about what do I get to do during that hour. So I don't think about I have to move a mountain today, because that's not going to happen, and I still want to be super productive and be in completion by the end of the day. So if I'm realistic about what can be accomplished, then I can insert those things, and then every single hour I will look at this list, and then I'll see, okay, what am I committed to between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m.? What am I committed to between 12 and 1? And of course include breaks, so that we're not like running ourselves into the ground and not getting a breath of fresh air, going for a walk, working out, having a meal, all of these things. And whenever I, again, have that sense of overwhelm or not feeling prepared and committed, once I write these things down in that form, it just seems easy. Like I just feel like, okay, now I've got the perfect day ahead of me. I don't have to stress about it because I know that I'm focusing on my top priorities of the day. And as long as I stay true to this and don't get off track, then by the end of the day, I will feel complete. So yeah, Shauna, you're so great. I get prepared and commit. Yeah, so one of the things that my clients knows is that they know that I love to change language all the time. So oftentimes when we say I have to, or I need to, or I should, when we shift that to I choose to, or I get to, or even I'm blessed to, or I'm so grateful that I get to, it just shifts my energy around what gets to happen today. And especially when it comes to, the tasks that we have in business, I oftentimes will hear entrepreneurs say, gosh, Amy, I have so much to do, and I have to write an email to my email list, or I have to come up with this, online marketing funnel, or I have to work on my webinar, or I have to do this interview. And the energy that's going into this is this whole have to energy that to me is just not in alignment and making a difference. It's like most of us that are here on this call or watching the replay of this video are purpose-driven entrepreneurs, right? Like you have a passion for what it is you do, and alongside that, you get to do marketing and sales and enrollment conversations and all that. And when I bring, in my own business, when I bring the energy of I get to do this, and I'm so fortunate I get to do this, then when I write an email to my list, or when I post on social media, or when I'm working on a webinar or a live training call or a group coaching call, or even a talk for speaking on the stage, which I have coming up at the end of this month, then I shift my energy to, gosh, I'm so blessed to be able to do this. Like I'm so fortunate that this is what I've chosen to do with my life, and that I get to make a difference on a daily basis. And so when I bring that energy to my work, then I believe that that's what also reflects back to me in terms of people wanting to talk to me, connect with me, jump on a call with me, attend the events where I'm speaking, whatever it is I'm putting out there, they're more likely to meet me halfway because I'm willing to put that energy out there. Does that make sense? So I'd love to see, is this helpful? I would love to see any questions that you might have, or even if it's, if you have a question that's unrelated to the topic that I have for today, I would love to be able to serve you. So think of this as your weekly free coaching call for me. I'm super happy to help. So let me ask you this. What is the number one challenge that you're facing in your business right now? Go ahead and write that down. Shauna, a great reminder. Awesome. I know there's several others out here on my Facebook Live right now. So if you haven't said hello yet, I would love to see who is on live. And if you're watching the replay, then go ahead and share your biggest takeaways, or if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. So what is the number one area of business that you're having a challenge with right now? Because I'm here to serve you and help you any way that I can. And this is your chance. So go ahead and type it in. And I'm going to have a sip of water. Okay. I have a quiet group today. That's all right. In the meantime, I do have an exciting announcement for something that I'm offering that's totally free, no strings attached. Next Friday, September 15th, put it on your calendar, I'm hosting for the first time ever a free virtual live workshop. It's September 15th, Friday, September 15th at 11 a.m. Pacific. So I would love to see if you want to join me. And the theme of it is called Permission to Dream Bigger. Permission to Dream Bigger. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be on Zoom, so we're going to see each other's faces. I'm going to invite everybody I know to say, okay, if you have a bigger dream, a bigger calling, and you know that you're not playing full out, then come to my workshops. It's going to be so much fun. And what we're going to do is some exercises on really reconnecting with your dream, realigning with it. I'm going to take you through a really powerful guided visualization so you can feel the feeling of leaning into your dream. And it's just, I'm creating this container for you to give yourself permission to focus on you and what you see yourself, being called to do moving forward. So yeah, I'll be posting on both my Facebook pages about what this workshop is and how to get access to it. So would love for you to share, or for you to join. Okay, I see some great questions. Misty, hey Misty, I've been wanting to connect with you, my dear. You said, do you have or make time on your calendar for flex time? Yeah, so I actually do. And you know what? Last week was an incredible week that represented just that. When I do a flex week, or when I take flex time, or for some you might call it free time, or time where you don't have any client calls, then you can just really think ahead. Like, what would be helpful for you to be able to take a step back, take a breather from everything that you're doing, and focus on either other things in your life, or maybe focus on creating content, just having time that's really focused either on your business or other areas of life. So yeah, Misty, I'm not perfect about this, but typically the last full week of every month, or the last approximate week of every month, I take a flex week where I don't have client calls, and I still have a team call with my team typically, and it gives me the chance to really work on other things. Like, I still work because I love what I do. I'm really passionate about it. But then I also take some time off as well to spend time with loved ones and just do things that I want to do that are unrelated to business, which is not easy. But for example, I'll work on, practicing my talk for the Zone event because I'm speaking on the stage this year. So excited. And then I'll also think about, again, reconnecting with my vision, which is thinking about how I want to finish this year, and also already looking into 2018 and beyond. So yeah, so that's where I go with flex time. And it's really about finding what works for you. For some people, it's just giving yourself permission to really take the weekend off, like every weekend off. I know some entrepreneurs just work 7 days a week or 6 days a week, and then they maybe have Sunday off where they cram in some time with family and do laundry and run errands, and it's like, when do you have time for you? So if you can be kind to yourself and take the weekend off, that would be awesome. I also know that come Friday mid-afternoon, I'm ready to take a break from everything. Like I'm serving a lot of clients every single day, and so while I love that, I also know in order for me to regroup and really kind of just not get depleted, I need to take that time for myself and take my dog for a long walk and spend time with Ken and my friends and all the good stuff. Megan says, okay, let's see here. I always do that. Okay. Shifting to an abundance and trusting mindset versus scarcity. Yeah, Megan, this is a big one. And I hear a lot of entrepreneurs talk about their fear around money and really feeling blocked in their mindset around money. And they're just like, I don't know why I can't finally get a hold of this. And I certainly understand, I definitely went through a time where I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm working so hard and nothing's happening, at least not enough to where I feel at peace financially. So one of the things that I did was I started to build a relationship with my money. Now that might sound funny, but I look at everything as the power of deep connection. And so if I'm missing something with either a person, an audience, with my budgeting and financing, then the power of deep connection is missing. So I think of money as, first of all, money is not here to hurt us. Numbers are not here to hurt us. They're just information. They're just a tool. And if I do not know what's happening with my money, then I'm kind of in this like ignorance is bliss thing, So I really think about, okay, how can I have a connection with my money? So one of the things is to know my numbers, knowing my numbers. So knowing in my personal life, like what's coming in and what's going out. And then in my business world, the same thing. And am I really being wise with my investments? What am I investing in right now? And as I expand my business, I grow my team, I think about every single line item of like, okay, I get to know my numbers. I also get to be abundantly minded. So if there's something that I really want, whether it's expanding my team or investing and growing my business through, Facebook ad campaigns, or oftentimes I just focus on investing in me, from leadership training to speaking training to really making sure that I'm able to serve my audience to the best of my ability. And that means always growing myself. Then I think about, if this is in line with my vision, then this is what I get to do. And I get to figure it out. So oftentimes I will hear people say, Amy, I really see the value of, your Coaching Masters Academy, or I really want to work with you privately, and I just don't know how I'm going to afford it. And I'll never forget hearing a podcast years ago that was life-changing for me. It was featuring Marilyn Janae. She's an author and just an incredible speaker. And she's a prosperity and abundance coach. I don't know her exact title. And they kept talking about the 3 words you must never, ever, ever, ever say again if you ever want to have an abundant mindset. So I was like leaning in. They kept teasing it like through the whole thing. They're like, and then we'll get to the 3 words. I'm like, what are the 3 words? Tell me, I want to know. And they finally said the 3 words you must never, ever, ever say again are, I can't afford. I can't afford. And I thought about that and I was like, I don't think I say that. And then after that, I caught myself saying it over and over and over again. I'm like, oh my gosh, I always say it. And when I say I can't afford, then my subconscious mind hears that as reality. And I now think that there really is a limitation to what I can or can't afford. Now I can hear some of you right now, someone right now is saying, yeah, but Amy, I always think of the yeah buts. You don't understand. I really can't afford it. I really can't afford it. So here's where, again, shifting the language is really powerful. So if ever you really feel like you can't afford something, instead of saying I can't afford it, just say it's just not a priority right now. It's just not a priority right now. And the reason why that statement is much more powerful is that you're not buying into a limitation. You're just being honest with yourself that it's just not a priority right now. Because if it were a life or death situation and somebody said, if you want to have this surgery, or if you want to save your life or the life of a loved one, and it's going to cost you $20,000, I'd be willing to bet that you wouldn't say, well, I can't afford it, so I guess that I get to die. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not going to happen. You're going to do whatever it takes to come up with that $20,000 and you make it happen. So when I think about things that I really, really, really want, and if it's investing in myself or investing in a coach or investing in a program or investing in going to an event, I always think about, is this opportunity in line with my vision? And if so, then I get to say yes and figure it out. And it's not that I'm sitting on a pot of gold every day. People think that, oh, well, it's easy for you because you've built up this successful business. And I still don't always have like just tens of thousands of dollars just hanging out like, oh, I get to do this. Like, no, I'm not there, at least not yet. So I get to figure it out. And there's always a way. My clients hear me, I feel like a broken record. My clients hear me say this all the time. There's always, always, always a way. If you really, really, really want something, then figure it out. Make a decision that, yes, I get to do this and I get to come up with a solution. And if you get stuck, talk to somebody like me or someone that you see consistently making things happen, because there's something in their mindset that's saying, I am committed to finding a solution. I just am. And when you put your heads together, there's always a way. Okay, Shauna, sitting down to write and create content and not getting distracted. Number 1 culprit is social media, turning it off. Oh, yes, Shauna, the social media addiction. I know it well. So if you love social media like I do, then in your calendar, it's great to carve out time, but a starting and ending point of when you get to be on social media. If you enjoy checking in with everybody, seeing what everyone's up to, posting yourself, then allow yourself to have that enjoyment. Is that a word? Allow yourself to have that joy in your life, but carve out time. And if you really are not disciplined enough to turn it off, then put an alarm on your clock, on your phone, and just say, okay, I'm giving myself permission to spend 15 minutes or 30 minutes on Facebook. And as soon as the alarm goes off, get off of it. Just get off. If you need to, shut it down, if you need to close it out, don't minimize, actually close your Facebook page or Instagram, like whatever, your app, just close it out. Just say, okay, and then look forward to the next time you get to do it. And that way you don't let it take over your life, you know? We get to live life, not live it on social media 24/7. Roxana-san. Oh, I just love seeing Rox. I was talking about you earlier because people were commenting on our BFF mermaids. I'm so glad we both have it. And I'm curious if you've hung it up on your wall yet. Okay, I'm blessed to work on helping others strategize and not be doing so under threat of fire, hurricane, flood, threat of deprivation, or for reals. Yes, yeah, so Rox, I don't know if you jumped on in the beginning, but that was the first thing that I was addressing because it's, you know, I almost find it like should I even be talking about focused and, you know, being focused and productive on a daily basis when there's devastation happening in the world. So yeah, perspective is everything, and anything that we can do to help those who are affected by Hurricane Irma is wonderful. So, so yeah, I think that's so important, and we are so blessed. You know, it is a blessing that we get to do this. Misty says, challenge, feeling like I'm being pulled in many directions for getting different projects done. How do you recommend allocating creative project development time with everyday work? Yeah, so Misty, what I do and what has been helpful, and something that was inspired in, you know, some leadership trainings and even with my business coach, is to just check in with yourself. And there's a couple different exercises you can do. So you could pick which one works for you. So one of them is to make a list of what's working for you and what's not working for you. So just, you know, make that list. Or another way to do this is, what do I love? This was something that Emily Utter shared with me the other day. She said one day she went to the beach with, you know, her journal, and she wrote down, what do I love and what do I not love, like in my business. And so again, similar thing, like what's working for you and what's not working for you, and where do you get to go from here? And it evolves over time, you know, as you grow, it evolves. So even what was working for you before may not be working for you now, like the way you structure your day or your week or your month. So I would look ahead. Like, so for example, I'm now looking ahead at 2018 because this year, it has been the stretchiest year. Like, and I chose that and I'm grateful for it. But between, you know, being in a high level mastermind and leading my coaching master's academy and having my private coaching clients and VIP intensives, and then investing in Ascension Leadership Academy and PhD leadership and doing the Jesse Itzler, like my year has been just a bit crazy, and I also have loved every part of it, except for the time crunch, you know? And I think there's a fine line between having a scarcity and mindset of time and really overcommitting myself. And so I'm like, okay, this has been a stretchy year for me, and now I'm looking ahead at what's working for me, what's not working for me, and where do I get to go? And I am making some shifts in my schedule so I can create some more space for me to have time to think, for me to have time to work on my creative endeavors, like writing a book and continuing to work with speaking coaches, because I have this vision of speaking on bigger stages. And if I have the schedule I have now, it's just not going to happen. So, okay. So yeah, and then just thinking about, okay, one more thing for you, Misty. If you have creative projects that you want to work on, then really allow yourself to dream about how much time do I want to and get to carve out for these creative projects? And what would work best for me? Not how can I squeeze it in, but if I could have my dream case scenario on adding these creative projects into my life, what would be dreamy? Like, would it be dreamy if I could carve out every single Friday I don't work with clients and I work on my creative projects? Or is it more like something that you want to do an hour a day? You know, some people will wake up early in the morning, and because one of their dreams is to write, then 1 hour every morning is their sacred hour for writing. And it's a non-negotiable. Like, they're just like, this is my time. This is my time that I get to work on my creative endeavor. So think about how much time you would like to work on it and how often, and just decide. And if you're like, oh, but I can't because I have so much on my plate, well, then look further out and decide that you can make a decision, and just start carving out and blocking out that time so that no one else kind of takes it up, you know? The only reason why I schedule this call is because I have no clients today and tomorrow. Awesome, Misty. Megan says, yes, I've heard this before. It's about empowerment. I am choosing not to buy this. Yeah. LOL. Yeah, but rocks. Yeah, you know, it's funny. So spoiler alert, at the Zone event, I'm actually going to talk about the yeah buts as part of my talk. It's so fun. Yes, Megan, you're so welcome. All right, so ladies, 'cause it looks like it's all ladies today, and any gentlemen who are watching this later, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I wanted to again mention that next Friday, so Friday, September 15th, I would love to know if you're interested in joining me for the first time ever. I'm doing a live workshop from 11 a.m. Pacific to 1:30 p.m. Pacific called Permission to Dream Bigger. And it's all about creating the impact and the income that you've always wanted through the power of deep connection. We're gonna have some really fun exercises. It's all gonna be on Zoom. So if you're interested, go ahead and comment below, yes, I'm interested, yes, I'm interested. And then I'll post the link to give you free access to it. It's a totally free 2.5 hour, super fun virtual workshop. And I would love for you to invite others as well. I'm just so committed to helping people get out of their own way to live out their dream life and have an amazing business. So yes, Misty, I know. See you in Palm Springs. For those of you who are coming to the Zone event, cannot wait to see you. It's gonna be great. So, and I found out that the day I'm speaking on the stage is day 1, which is September 25th, right after lunch. So get back after lunch and come see me speak. Heather says interested. Awesome. Heather, I'll make sure I post the link for you. Shauna, thank you for packing this time so full of great information. Oh, Shauna, you're welcome. I love doing these Facebook Lives, and it always helps to have you on here to let me know where you need the most help. So I do this Facebook Live every Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific. So if you find this helpful and you want your free coaching from me every Thursday, or if you just want to have a conversation, go ahead and plug it into your calendar. The only time I don't do it is if I'm traveling. So and I tend to send reminders to my list, so hopefully you're on my list. So thank you so much for joining me. Sending you all much love. Let's send lots of love and prayers to those who are being affected by Hurricane Irma. And I will see you on Facebook and hopefully in person soon. All right. Mwah. Bye.